Hey everybody, Benny Fry here. You might know me on Twitter as Pourme at Pourme on Twitter. I've posted several times about a dish that I've called it chicken pesto, but I'm calling it a different name now. We're calling it Pourme's Chicken Madness. It's very quick and it's very easy. So here goes. And what I'm going to show you today is a recipe that I found on Facebook, and I've kind of adapted a little bit and changed things around, but I refer to it now as Pourme's Chicken Madness. This is a very simple recipe to cook. You really can't get this recipe wrong. There's no wrong way to do it. I really don't think you can mess this up. Give it a shot and try it, see how you like it, and let me know in the comments section below. There's a few very simple ingredients, but you can put up to 4 chicken breasts in there depending on how many people you want to feed. This is about max in that pan. And if you've never used pesto, don't let the word get in the way. Pesto, they should have named it something else because pesto is just a crappy name, but it's a very important ingredient. It tastes great, and the fact that it's green to me don't help anything. This is the brand I get. I'm not brand specific at all, so whatever brand pesto, some people even make their own. But about half of that jug is what I generally use, maybe a tad more than half. Again, you can't make it wrong. There's no way to put too much. And if you don't put enough, you'll know it the next time you can add some more. These diced tomatoes, and this is one thing I changed. I don't care about brand. Again, I got both brands here. I'll only use 1 can of those. That's about a ½ cup. But I like mine with the basil, garlic, and oregano added. You can get the plain, and if you know, you can use that if you want to. But this way, there's a little bit of seasoning in there with it, and it really tastes great. It helps the dish out. And the season's already there, so you can't really mess it up. Mozzarella cheese. Don't matter what brand. I've got Kraft right here. I've even used Walmart's house brand. You won't use that full bag. That's an 8-ounce thing. You can use it all if you want to. Then the ingredient that I always use, because I use it in most everything I cook, is snafu seasoning. Now, I want to tell you straight up, snafu don't sponsor this. Jimmy Haywood was kind enough to sponsor my radio program when I had that. And in fact, he sponsored our entire radio network. And during that process, I got to know Jimmy really well. And I got hung up on snafu seasoning. And there's a lot of people, I'm not the only one, that's hung up on this stuff throughout Twitter and the Twitter universe where we roam and call home. At Pourme, by the way. Follow me, at Pourme. But I make plans to get you some snafu. And then the pan I just use these standard pans. I get them at Sam's Club. They got a little lid on them. Spray the pan down before you put the products in, and you'll be good. I forgot to do that last time, and it turned out fine. One thing I like about this, and I'm sure you will feel the same when you make this, you can put this lid on it, put it in the refrigerator, and I don't know how long you can keep it in the refrigerator. I'd say 24 hours would not be a problem. I usually keep mine in. I'll make it, I'm going to eat this tonight, and I'll put it on about 5 or 6 o'clock for dinner, and it will have been in the refrigerator probably, 3 or 4, maybe 5 hours before I use it. So we're going to get on with it. I'll shut this down, and I'll just show you step by step. Try not to take up too much of your time. Too late for that. Just cut away any gristle that might be on the edge of your chicken breast and just cast it aside, throw it away, and butterfly those chicken breasts. You see, I've done 2 of them. What you do, this is going to be difficult to do this and do that. But what you're going to do is you're going to go and just lay that chicken breast up on its side and just slide a knife right down through the middle of it and just lay it open. You're just butterflying it and laying it out, just like so. And lay those chicken breasts out. You can lay them either side up. I usually lay them on the cut side up, like so. And just lay those chicken breasts out and put them in the pan. All right, I've got those chicken breasts butterflied. I've got them laying on my cooking sheet. Cooking sheet's got a layer of Pam spray underneath the chicken breast so they don't stick. First step is to put your pesto on. And I'll do that, and we'll be right back. I'll show you how it looks like. The first thing you do is put your snafu seasoning on. not your pesto. The pesto comes next, but I've already started on this one, so I put my snafu over the top of it. You can cook this dish 2 to 3 times a month and serve it to your family, and they'll never get enough of it. And the leftovers are great. You can put it in the refrigerator after the meal if you got a couple of chicken breasts left over, and the next day you can put them in the microwave and heat them up, and they're just as good or maybe better the next day. And there you go. It's very thick, but you know, if you get too much on it, when you cook it, it'll run off into the pan and kind of overflow. And that runoff between that and the tomatoes, you can scoop it up and put it on your plate, and it's delicious. Now, pardon me if the camera gets a little shaky. I'm going to try to hold the camera and do this at the same time. I picked up the first can, was the Hunt's diced tomatoes, and I'm just going to pour this on here and show you. You really, you can't get too much of this. Just pour it on. I'm going to use the whole can. And I'm going to take my spoon. I'm just going to smear that around and kind of distribute it more evenly. Already looking good and beginning to smell good. I cannot wait. So I got my tomatoes on. The next thing is the wonderful part, is the fun part, is the cheese. Not quite a full bag. I had already used this bag before and had most of it left, but not a lot. It's an 8-ounce bag, and I distributed that over the top of the tomatoes pretty evenly. And I could take this right now and put it in the oven for about, I guess, 35 minutes at about 375. And I do it with the lid off. I do it open like this. And what you're doing is, when you put it in at 375, about 30 to 35 minutes, the top will start to brown and it'll look like the top of a pizza. You can tell when it's done. You can check the temperature if you want to, but it's going to be good. If you'll, that's one reason you want to butterfly those fillets, is because it makes them a little thinner. They cook a little bit better. They cook more evenly. They come out a little more tender, and there's more space, open space on the chicken to absorb the seasoning that you're putting on the snafu, and the seasoning out of the pesto and out of the seasoned tomatoes. But right now, what I'm going to do, instead of putting it in the oven, I'm going to put this lid on. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and I will be back in the magic of video. It'll go by just like that, but I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, and this afternoon, in about 3, 4, maybe 5 hours, I'm going to pop it in the oven for 35 minutes, and you're going to be able to see what it looks like. And I'll serve it up on a plate and let you take a look at that. Try this. You'll love it. We'll be right back to show you how all this ends in just a second. I did add some more cheese. I got to looking at it, and there's a lot of bare spots, so I couldn't bear that. So I did add more cheese. I put it in the oven. I set the oven at 375 degrees. I cooked this, and originally setting was for 35 minutes. And after checking in 35 minutes, it needed a little more time. I don't know, with the extra cheese, the fillets were so large, it filled the pan up. So the actual cooking time on this was about 45 minutes. But look at this. At the end of the 45 minutes, peeking into the oven, it's golden brown. Pulled that out and let it cool down a little bit. The aroma just filled the house, and people were coming down the hall wanting to know what I was cooking. So you take it out of the oven, let it cool down a little bit. Take your spatula and just go in there, and be easy because you can punch holes in the pan. You don't want to do that. But take your spatula and just divide that up into the 4 different servings that you have. Look at that. My mouth is watering talking about it. So you just reach in there, you take that, and you put it on the plate. Get some of those giblets, some of the tomatoes and all the pieces of pesto and everything that was around, and put it on top of your serving. My son-in-law even rarely does that. He smelled it and come down and got him a little bit of Chicken Madness from our kitchen. And let me tell you, we're going to do this some more. We're going to, when the weather breaks, we're going to go poolside. We're going to barbecue some butts. I'm going to show you how I do that. We're going to do some chicken wings. Subscribe to my channel so you won't miss a video. Make your comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and join us again soon. Bye now.